Welcome to The High Level Entrepreneur, a podcast with me, Joella Skog. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about why introverts make the best industry leaders. And if you are an introvert and you're someone who likes your alone time, you feel like being extroverted, being out there is not for you, this is definitely an episode for you. So listen for the whole episode. So, a very common misunderstanding about me is that I am an extrovert because I am visible everywhere. I'm in on podcasts, I have an email list, I have my LinkedIn, I have Instagram, I have I have I'm visible in so many places. And I have one-on-one clients, I have a group calls with clients, I do webinars, and I have a lot of followers. I'm out there. All right. And for that reason, people think, well, she must be an extrovert who thrives on that attention and thrives on being extroverted and talking to people. And that must be her strength. And the truth is, I am definitely not an extrovert, okay? I am a true introvert stuck in an extroverted job. No, but to be honest with you, I really think my job and the way that I do my marketing, the way that I have positioned myself, the way that I am an industry leader is actually a perfect match for being an introvert. And I'll tell you why. So, when I started my business years ago, I knew that one thing for sure is I don't want to have to chase clients. I don't want to have to convince clients to work with me. I don't want to go to tons of networking events and do launches and make that be the way that I rely on sales coming in. I knew that I wanted to be someone who magnetizes and attracts clients to me. And in order to do that, I need to be visible. I need to build my personal brand, right? And it's not just building your brand, because when I talk about industry leadership, I'm not talking to those of you who just want a brand, just want to sell online. No, you want to literally become the one and only go-to person, the person that gets highly paid in your industry, the person who sells packages for 10, 15, 20K while others need to be at a way lower price because they are not considered industry leaders. They are not the go-to person. And that's the kind of level I'm talking to here. You want big results. You want multiple six figures in revenue, and you want it to happen an easier way, which to me, the easy way is to be an industry leader instead of trying to figure out how to convince people to buy from you. You can attract people to want to buy from you and invest high ticket into you. All right. So that way, industry leadership, it's not like I went in and had the intention that I'm going to be an industry leader. I think industry leadership is something you can desire. It's something that you can, go towards, but you're not necessarily going in and planning for industry leadership. You need to actively become a leader from inside out in order to become an industry leader, which is why Industry Leader Lounge is not focused on helping you, hack content or Instagram Reels or anything like that in my mentorship program. We focus on becoming an authority and leader from inside out. And that includes your behavior, your patterns, your mindset blocks, everything in order for you to be perceived as a leader in other people's eyes and someone people want to work with. So before we continue, I want to say also, Industry Leader Lounge is open for application. You can go to the description box and find Industry Leader Lounge, the landing page for that program, and read more about it. But I would love to see you there. If you're at minimum six figures, 100K in revenue, and you want to grow to multiple six figures and be considered a leader in your industry. So to continue onwards onto this topic of why introverts are the best industry leaders is because you probably value your time and your energy so much that the things that you put your energy and time into, are going to be things that are valuable. Like, you're not going to waste your time running around doing lunches with people or going to events that you don't need to be at, or even creating content that you're not passionate about or you don't care about. Like, you're going to protect your energy so much that you would rather be very, very smart with your time, very intentional, and truly go all in on a couple of things instead of spreading yourself too thin. So, being someone who protects your energy, that means it's easier for you to say no to things and easier for you to like really go all in on the things that you enjoy and the things that will actually bring you results. Because it could also be that, some extroverts just love being social, love being extroverts, but like their socializing isn't always like productive for the business, right? And that's fine. Like, I love extroverts, like I have extroverted clients as well, but I'm just trying to talk to the introverts here in this podcast episode. So because you value your time so much, you're going to and your energy most of all, like your energy is everything to you. So you're going to, you know, prioritize your time way better than other people would that don't care about their time so much or their energy as much or don't like protect it as much as you do. So that's one thing. The second thing is, what is an industry leader? Well, it's a leader. And how do you become perceived as a leader? You add something new to a space. You add new perspectives, different perspectives. You go against the grain. You don't fit into the mold of what everyone else is or what everyone else thinks. That's what creates an industry leader. You kind of have to go your own way. You have to go your own path in business and in life, in your niche. And that's actually very aligned for an introvert, because if you're introverted, you like your alone time, you're probably used to saying no to parties or declining social events, or you don't really have FOMO because you don't really care what other people are doing. You just know that you want to be in your own energy, right? And that means you probably already have the qualities of someone who could easily add perspective to a space and go against the grain because you're not worried about fitting in. Another thing is, like, being an industry leader means you have to be able to think deeply about your topic. Like, you have to be able to think deeply about your topic. And it doesn't matter if you're introvert or extrovert, everybody can think deeply about something. But if you're an introvert, you probably value like going out in the woods by yourself on a walk and reflecting and thinking. Like, maybe you enjoy that more than socializing. And for that reason, you're going to really be able to think deeply and in a complex way about your expertise. Because if you truly do what you feel meant to do and you love what you do, those are the things you're also thinking about and talking about with people, even when you're not working. So all of that, like, free time is very effective to you because you're already reflecting and thinking and coming up with new ideas that you can then come and add to a space on social media or with your webinars or joining a podcast interview or something. Like, it's going to be very evident to people that you've actually given this some deep and complex thought, and you've thought about multiple different perspectives and angles to this topic. And that's what makes someone a leader. That's the kind of person people want to follow. Somebody who is able to think deeply and complex about a topic, has unique perspectives, someone who has obviously reflected on that topic, and that makes people want to work with you because you're not superficial, you're not staying superficial, you're going to go deep and you're going to be able to add something new to the space. So that's also why I think introverts are natural born industry leaders, because they're not going to crave the attention. Like, they're not going to go out there and be visible because they crave attention or because they want to be social or because they want to be seen. Like, they're gonna go out there and make themselves visible because they care more about the message that's coming across. They care more about sharing their ideas and helping people and transforming their industry than they care about visibility and attention, right? Because a lot of people think that in order to be visible, you love attention, you love, you're an extrovert. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Like my clients, a lot of my clients that are that are industry leaders are also loners. Like they're introverted, they're loners, they prefer to be by themselves. But you would never know because you see them so visible, so extroverted in a way. But what's extroverted about sitting at home in my office recording a podcast episode? Like, I would say there is some level of extroversion to this job. Like, when I'm talking to the camera, I am also talking to you. But it's also like, how is like staying home all day talking to my camera extroversion, right? Like I'm able to start over, I'm able to edit this podcast episode, I'm able to like turn off the camera and go chill in my couch directly after and not have any plans, right? So it's also a very controlled way to be extroverted, if you will, because you don't necessarily need to, you know, um, go speak to people constantly. Like you can prepare, you can edit, you can start over. And most importantly, what I think with introverts, like introverts can't do work or talk about things that they're not interested in or passionate about, right? So if you feel like you couldn't show up on a stage or you couldn't record a podcast episode talking about your topic of expertise, why is that? Because personally, I am very uninterested in conversations and topics that I'm not interested in, right? But if I'm very interested in a topic, I can passionately speak about that topic. And it's not about being introverted or extroverted at all, but it's about like, I'm genuinely interested in this topic and I genuinely want to help people, or I genuinely want my message to come across. So then I'm more focused on the things that I'm saying rather than the fact that people are paying attention to me or not paying attention to me. That's like less important because you get to genuinely love what you do and be passionate about what you do. And if I wasn't like, if I didn't have my brand, my authority, my industry leadership, then I wouldn't be able to sell the offers that I love selling. I wouldn't be able to work with clients that I love working with. I wouldn't be able to charge the price that I charge and also be able to feel like I'm at a very good revenue level and have a very good salary without needing to take on tons and tons and tons of clients constantly. And that makes me actually have more free time. Like I have minimum 2 meeting free days per week. And that's when I really don't want any kind of talking to people. I don't want any meetings, not even with my team. Like, I just want those days to be for me and going deep within. And I get to, maybe go to a cafe, write emails, and really be able to reflect on things and go into that mode of like introversion, reflecting, thinking. And I wouldn't be able to have so much time in my business for myself and for developing the business and thinking creatively unless I had built industry leadership. Probably I would still be a consultant selling my time for, I don't know, $120 per hour and like be in front of my computer all day or stuck in meetings all day because my client told me to do that. Or I would be a coach selling one-on-one coaching sessions or lower end packages that, would barely make me a good enough salary. And instead, I run a multiple 6-figure business with only high level premium clients and I sell scalable offers, and I get to maintain this level of freedom and space in my calendar, which is like allowing my introvertism exist. So it's so interesting when people think like my job is more extroverted simply because I'm more visible, when the truth is the small amount of kind of extroversion that I do, if you will, like the marketing that I do, allows me way more time for myself, way more time for reflection, and also allows me to do what I really, really love to do. So if you are someone who thinks, I can't be an industry leader because I'm not that extroverted social person who loves talking to everyone, who's always chatty, who always, is always going to be out there, loves attention. Trust me, industry leaders are not leaders because they love attention. That has nothing to do with it. They are true authorities. They're able to think deeply, and they have the courage to go against the grain and go against their own industry. And that's why they attract and magnetize premium high-level clients. Because high-level clients, they want to work with someone who can intellectually challenge them, who can make them think differently about something, who can give them a perspective they've never heard before, who can genuinely go deep with them, whether you are a consultant, a coach, whatever services you sell. High level clients are drawn to someone who is confident and secure, and doesn't need external validation because they are validating themselves, right? They are just out there being visible because they want to get the message across, because they want to talk about the things that they're passionate about, because they want to change people's opinions about the topic, and because it's business. Like, part of business is doing marketing. Part of business is growing your brand and growing industry leadership so your company can be an industry leader business, right? Like, you want to grow your business. So there's a business strategy aspect to it, but there's also the aspect of like, you get to put your message across and talk about things you're passionate about. And that's why I've never spoken about things or created podcast episodes about things that I'm not already passionate about or I don't already feel strongly for, like the topic of today. If I don't care about the topic, I won't talk about it, even if I know that my ideal client might be interested in that topic. Okay, I always try to find my interests in combination with the client's interests. And that's like where the magic happens. That's where sales are created. And that's where people start to perceive you as an industry leader. So thank you for listening to this podcast episode. All of you introverts out there, I want you to be in the Industry Leader Lounge, my mentorship program, where I help you become an industry leader who dominates your industry and scales your business to multiple six figures. Maybe you even have the 7-figure goal that you're working towards. Industry Leader Lounge is the place for you, where we truly go deep, where we look at your leadership, your behavior, your pattern, so you can create way bigger results for your business. Because industry leadership isn't built on content or strategy. It's built from who you are and how you lead. So thank you for listening to today's episode. I'll talk to you next week.